Hi, friends. This is Dr. Arpita Gupta Dipalma, and you're listening to my podcast, From Pissed Off to Poised. This show is for busy women physicians and professionals just like you who are ready to take control of their emotions while learning how to excel in juggling all the things they are responsible for in life. It's for overextended mamas who are trying to figure out how to work smarter, not harder. It's for multitasking women who are tired of playing the role of the angry and resentful air traffic controller, who simply want to learn how to create a life that is more calm, intentional, and joyful for themselves. My goal is to help you learn how to eliminate the overwhelm and maintain your composure in high-stress situations that you face with the demands in your day-to-day life. Because I get you guys, this was totally me. You are not alone. I invite you to embark on your journey of transformation with me. Enjoy the listen. Hey there, friends. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again today. I want to just first take a minute to say thank you to all the listeners and fans who've been sending me messages, liking the show, sharing it with their friends. I would love if you could leave me some reviews because it really means the world to me and it helps me get this show out in front of all the other people in the world to get more listeners so we can start to spread this glitter everywhere. And like if you have kids or you know anything about art and you know and use glitter, you know that it's a mess and it sticks to absolutely everything and you can never seem to get rid of it. So I want you to think of all the things I'm teaching you to be little flecks of glitter that stick and are making your world more beautiful. Little cheesy. I know. It's okay. Go with it. On to the show. In the first few episodes, we've talked about building our awareness around the situations and circumstances in our life that tend to set us off down that anger pathway. And I have more to come on this for sure. But I also know you guys are chomping at the bit to get to the how of stopping this anger reaction, how to put a pause on it so you're not continuing to always show up that way. I think you have some basic foundational concepts now with what we've covered so far on the reflecting and the noticing of how important your why is first. And when I mean why, I'm talking about the why around our reactionary responses. And when we can figure this out, it's actually what allows us to start to recognize and see what is happening. It helps us to start make sense of how the things have evolved the way they have. And it therefore gives us space to have compassion for ourselves instead of constantly mentally beating ourselves up about why we are showing up that way. So I'm counting on the fact that you all have done the homework and maybe journaled a little bit on the situations that we've figured out what's setting you off and that you're working on building that awareness. If you haven't, I just strongly suggest that you do spend some time to do this and listen to the prior episodes so that you can really be ready to move on to this next step of building your mini protocol. What I'm going to share with you today is the basic outline for the steps that you can start to customize for what you want to do when you find yourself to become activated. And again, activated means you've been set off. Something is making you angry. And I know a lot of times people use the word triggered instead. And sometimes people get triggered by the word triggered. And so I've kind of shifted to using activated from now on. And that's what I'm going to try to do. You might see some old documents or old versions of things where the word trigger is there, but I'm really making a shift to go towards activated instead. One of the biggest reasons that we tend to fly off the handle in situations that we've identified as activators is that we think we don't have the time to think and process and to act intentionally immediately after the exposure. We think that we have to react right away, right now. And over time, our reactionary neural pathways have become so strong that we automatically go down this path of least resistance, going towards anger, because it's what we've always done and we know how it ends up. Even though it doesn't feel great, it's predictable for the most part, and so we keep doing it. And so I know I've mentioned that before, but what I want you to start doing now is to plan ahead for the next time you may be in a situation that you've identified as one of the things that activates you. I want you to plan ahead by creating your own little mini protocol. And like I said, this is going to be just the basic outline so that you can start doing this work right away. In a few more episodes from now, I'm going to really dive into the steps in a lot more detail so you can understand and really customize this protocol so it works well for you. But for today, I'm just going to give you the basics. So here goes. The 5 steps for your mini protocol are: step 1, recognize what activates you. This is a lot of what we covered in the first couple of episodes. You've been doing this already if you've been following along. So make that list of things or situations that you notice tend to set you off. What flavors, what underlying causes, like if you're tired or you haven't had a bite to eat, build that awareness by recognizing what activates you. Step 2, when you find yourself in a scenario where you get activated, I want you to pause for a moment and take one slow, deep breath and make an excuse to remove yourself from that situation immediately. Slow, deep breath. Hey, I'll be right back. I got to run to the restroom. Slow, deep breath. Hey, I forgot one thing. Let me go check on that. I'll be right back. Make some shit up and get out of it so you can find yourself a private space. And that's step 3, finding yourself a quiet, private space where you can do some more deep breathing. In this moment, when you found that closet or the bathroom or your car, whatever it is, I want you to put your hand on your heart and take 5 more slow, deep breaths. This step is super important because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system and it tells your brain, it reminds your brain that you are safe, that you are not in danger. Okay. And I'm going to dive deep into this part of it in the next episode. But right here, all we're doing is giving ourselves that pause to breathe, to activate that parasympathetic, to calm that nervous system down. Step 4, this one might be hard for some of you guys initially, but we're going to label the emotion that we're feeling out loud. Okay. I am feeling angry. I am feeling rage. I am feeling frustration, irritation, annoyance, and it may even be some other unpleasant emotion because by the time you've gotten to that car and you've taken the breaths, the anger has lifted a little and you might be aware that it's actually another underlying emotion that you don't really like feeling. I know it sounds hokey, and this is probably one of the most important steps because research shows that when we simply acknowledge the emotion that we're having by saying it aloud, it actually helps it diminish. So take that moment and say it out loud. Acknowledge the emotion, name it. After you say it out loud, I want you to allow yourself to just notice where it's showing up for you in your body. Okay. Is it tension in your shoulders? Is it that flushing or the heat that's going up your neck and into your ears? I want you to just notice where is it showing up for you in your body, embrace it, and allow yourself to just sit with it and be present with it so you can feel the emotion. Describing its color, the texture, the intensity, the temperature, any of the characteristics that you can give yourself a moment to sit with it and just be with it for a moment. You're just noticing what is happening in your body. And finally, step 5, after you've done step 4, you're going to notice that the intensity of the emotion has decreased. It might have shifted. It might have moved somewhere else. It's changed in some way. That is you processing the emotion. So once you've noticed that this intensity is dissipated, I want you to then revisit when you want to go back to the situation. I want you to think about when is it going to be most optimal for me to address what came up, what was setting me off in the first place. When do you think you will be prepared to do so using your intentional prefrontal cortex brain? I.e., if you go back right then, is the sight of your child who set you off earlier going to set you off again? Or are you going to be able to keep your cool and address the concern at hand? Sometimes we need to give ourselves time to get some reinforcements like our spouses or do some research on the situation that came up. So decide with that piece of your mind now if you're going to be able to return right then. And if not, it's okay to say, hey, you know what? Something's come up. I'm not able to address this with you right now, but I'm going to come back to it. Let's schedule a different time. So those are the 5 rudimentary steps of building your mini protocol. And there's a lot more to it, like I said, and I'll be talking about it soon. But this is a great way to get you started on practicing and building in those basic steps in your life. Remember, a lot of the times our reactionary responses stem from the urgency that we've created for ourselves that make us feel like we have to respond right away, right now. But when you start to think about it, there is no urgency to really respond right away in most all situations. They're not all life and death situations, so we can take a minute to reflect. So if you can just catch yourself in that moment when you're about to react and instead take that breath and pause, you can remind yourself that you don't have to respond right then. You can leave for a minute, and now you have the tools with these simple steps that you need to activate your intentional self so that you can spring into action with the rest of the protocol. All right, my friends, I hope this tool is something that you find easy to use and easy to implement so that it sets you on your way down this new path. Like I say to my clients, practice makes you better, not perfect, because there is no such thing as perfect. So when we start doing this work, we're creating that new neural pathway, and that's going to take the energy of us being intentional. It's going to take more effort than doing what we always do. As you do it, remind yourself that you're doing something amazing that's going to bring out a lot of change. And you're also going to encounter situations that you think you've mastered, only to find yourself showing up angry and reactionary again. And it's going to come out of nowhere. When it happens, and it will to all, including myself, I encourage you, instead of beating yourself up, to view it as an opportunity to be curious as to why this particular situation set you off again. What flavor in this scenario somehow reminded you, deja vu style, of something that had really activated you in the past, but it's not a complete perfect match. There is a reason behind our behaviors that makes complete sense every time. The challenge, the puzzle, the fun is in trying to figure out the why and then decide how we want to make a change. All right, my friends, until next time, I've enjoyed speaking with you. I want to hear the feedback. If you guys are using the protocol and practicing, I want to hear what works for you. I want to hear what doesn't work for you. Message me, send it in Instagram or Facebook chat for ThoughtWork MD. I would love to communicate with you guys there. Take care. We will see you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of From Pissed Off to Poised. Remember, transformation is a journey, not a destination. So enjoy the ride. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review From Pissed Off to Poised on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback supports my mission to get this podcast out to help other women physicians and professionals like you on their path to creating a more peaceful life with more intention and more joy. I enjoy reading every message I get with your input and feedback on my journey, so keep them coming. And if you have a friend who might enjoy the listen, please share this episode and show with them. Lastly, if you want to learn more about my coaching programs and course offerings, check out my website at www.thoughtworkmd.com. Feel free to reach out to me to learn more about investing in yourself through one-to-one coaching so you can start living the life you've always wanted. This show is for general educational and entertainment purposes only. Life coaching is not a substitute for therapy or medical treatment.